Happening now, a local felon is accused in a Northside Jamestown shooting. We have the latest from police. And an update on the acquisition of a new ambulance here in town. This as the current medical transport vehicle is out of service. Plus, construction of a new retail store in West Ellicott is taking shape.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, a 32-year-old man is accused of shooting a gun at a person on a north side street over the weekend. Officers with Jamestown Police responded to the area of Lafayette Street and Isabel Avenue last Saturday around 4:30 in the morning for a reported gunshot complaint. Now, following an investigation, Raheem Butts was taken into custody. He's accused of firing a shot towards a person. Police report the firearm was also recovered on scene. As a convicted felon, Butts is not legally allowed to possess a firearm in New York State. He faces several charges, including reckless endangerment and criminal possession of a weapon. Officers did not report any injury as a result of the shooting incident. Well, officials in Jamestown, their only ambulance is out of commission, they tell us, needing to borrow a working vehicle from another city agency. Well, now the city is finally going to be getting a second ambulance almost a year after lawmakers initially promised the much-needed equipment. Bronson Rasmussen joins us live from the newsroom with more on the new acquisition today.
Justin, in May of 2022, Jamestown officials pledged to improve public safety through additional hires and equipment. Now, while later that month, lawmakers unanimously approved 4 new firefighters and 3 police officer positions, only now is the acquisition of a second ambulance underway.
Having a second ambulance is certainly going to help us alleviate the burden that's currently being placed onto our surrounding municipalities. One of my jobs as fire chief is to make sure that somebody responds to those, even if it's not our own agency. We already currently send personnel to those calls, so having that additional ambulance will certainly make our system more efficient.
Currently, the city's only ambulance is not in operation, furthering the need.
Ambulance 1 had a mechanical failure last week that was unexpected. It was a problem that was found while it went down for routine maintenance. We certainly recognize that we need additional resources to continue to answer those calls. We were fortunate that we were able to reach out to All-Star and borrow a piece of older equipment that they have.
Once the second vehicle arrives, crews will have to figure out the best spots to house both rescue transports.
Perhaps there's different ways, different areas where we could place those ambulances. It's certainly not a done deal, and I'm happy to definitely have those conversations moving forward so we can deploy all of our resources as efficiently as possible.
The only problem is lack of personnel. Without more firefighters, it'll be a challenge to operate both ambulances and the ladder truck.
While it may result in the ladder truck being unavailable, it certainly would put another pumper as available and be able to increase that capacity that way.
The resolution allocating $250,000 in American Rescue Plan Act monies to purchase the new ambulance was unanimously approved by City Council Monday night. Now that the second ambulance is funded, it will take 2 to 6 months, depending on supplier availability, for this new ambulance to arrive. Reporting live in the newsroom, Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
All right, Bronson, thank you very much. A former manufacturing facility in Falconer up for sale has an interested buyer. The Korg Group plans to purchase the old truck light building. To aid in acquisition, the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency approved a $900,000 AL Tech loan, mortgage tax abatement, and sales tax abatement. The developer plans to lease the 160,000 square foot facility for office and manufacturing space following a brief renovation period. In total, the project is expected to cost $3.6 million. Construction of a new retail store in West Ellicott is taking shape. On Tuesday, the sign outside of Chautauqua County's first Target store was installed. 2 years ago, the nationally known retailer confirmed that they purchased the former Kmart at 975 Fairmount Avenue in West Ellicott. Now, the acquisition was not without some fanfare, as the corporation sued the Board of Assessors in Chautauqua County, seeking a lower tax assessment value after purchase. Now, efforts to remodel the 117,000 square foot building have since been underway since last September. Now, this week, crews with Safari Construction were hard at work making changes to the building's facade and painting the structure's exterior too. Now, seeing the construction come together is exciting news for many in our community.
We lost several retailers in the area over the last several years. There's been a large decline. So I am super excited about what Target offers. I know in other areas they have pulled out and closed certain stores, but I'm enthused that they're coming to our community and they're going to be located in such a prime area next to Wegmans, which is extremely popular. People come from far and away to shop at Wegmans.
While a Target spokesperson has confirmed the building's purchase and plans to open for business, it's still unclear at this point when a grand opening might take place. We'll, of course, keep you updated. Well, now let's switch gears and get a first check of our weather forecast today. Chief Weather Forecaster Andrew Stevenson joining us from the First Defense Weather Center. And we were talking about this, Andrew, the last couple of days here, where Mother Nature is really trying to hold on to this weird like winter spring mix where we've had some snow, we've had some rain, and everybody's really just looking for that sunshine.
I mean, when we had that stretch, was it 2-3 weeks ago, when we had that stretch of the sunny weather and warm weather, I think Mother Nature was teasing us. It's like, and then give us a little taste of summer and then bring us back into winter. And it doesn't look like we're going to have many warm temperatures anytime soon. We might get a little warmer towards the end of the week, but we're going to cool off again. Let's take a look at First Defense Doppler radar right now. We had some rain showers move through the region last night. We had some clouds this morning, but those clouds are starting to dissipate, and we should go partly to mostly sunny skies for the rest of the afternoon. The rain is done for today. The rain will be done for tomorrow, but the rain will return just in time for the weekend. Let's take a look at the NOAA 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, which runs through the first week of May, and yeah, we're going to be favoring with well below average temperatures. We're looking at temperatures 70 to 80% below where our average should be. Right now, our average this time of year should be in the low 60s. So over the next few days and heading into the first week of May, we're going to be well below average in the temperature department. The almanac for today, we made it to a high of only 47 degrees yesterday. The low was 28. Our record for today is 91, set back in 1925, and the record low is 24, set back in 2006. So here is your forecast. Remainder of the afternoon, the clouds will continue to dissipate, and we should go partly to mostly sunny skies for the rest of the afternoon with a northwest wind of 5 to 10 miles per hour. But it will remain chilly today with temperatures only in the mid to upper 40s, maybe the lower 50s in some spots. I'll have a look at the full forecast details coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Andrew, we look forward to that in a bit. As efforts to crack down on illicit weed shops here in New York State. And later, we highlight a newly proposed crime victims compensation bill. Stay with us. WNY News Now. We'll be right back.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams? Hunt, fish, in all corners of the earth? Well, now's your chance. Follow Primitive Patriot Outdoors as we live out our dreams and show you how to live out yours through outdoor adventures. From Western New York to Africa to all corners of the earth, follow us on this adventure. It's an experience you've never seen before. Lead and Lures, Roku TV, Channel 716.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
3-on-3 basketball returns to Jamestown, New York this summer. Collaborative Children's Solutions and partners are hosting a Gus Macker tournament August 19th and 20th in Brooklyn Square. The streets will be packed with a festival atmosphere, bringing the youngest of our Macker mites up to the adult players who compete for the top prize in their divisions. Register online at Macker.com before July 31st. The Jamestown Macker will also include some specialty competitions, making it one of the best community events of the year.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul and legislative leaders are looking at ways to crack down on illicit pot shops, threatening the state's fledgling legal market for recreational marijuana as part of negotiations on the overdue budget. Hochul told reporters at the state capitol Tuesday that she expected the budget negotiations would wrap up soon. It was due April 1st. Hundreds of unauthorized pot shops have opened in New York, competing with legal dispensaries whose products are heavily taxed. The illicit stores and trucks have been multiplying, even as New York slowly works to get its legal market established. Hochul says she wants to give state tax officials and the Office of Cannabis Management enforcement tools to shut down or fine illegal pot shops, a proposal outlined in her budget last month.
We are trying so hard to stand up a legal industry. This is not easy to do, but when you set up these businesses to fail already because of illegal competition, we have to take some dramatic steps now.
The budget also includes a change to the current bail law to give judges greater discretion by removing the least restrictive means standard to ensure a defendant returns to court. Hochul describes it as a clarification of guidelines, but liberal lawmakers have resisted further changes to the state's bail law. Well, this week is National Crime Victims' Rights Week, and some lawmakers are trying to pass a bill to expand eligibility for victim compensation funds. Today, our New York Capitol correspondent Elise Klein is talking to lawmakers about the legislation and gives us an update on its progress so far.
Survivors cannot wait! Tomorrow, a Senate Crime Committee plans to vote on a bill that intends to expand eligibility for victims and survivors of crime to access victims' compensation funds. The bill reintroduced this session intends to do this by removing a mandatory law enforcement reporting requirement and providing alternative forms of evidence that would show a qualifying crime occurred. Some lawmakers say this legislation would help combat racial disparities within the state's criminal justice system.
Our pain hurts just as much as anyone else's pain. Our grief is just as sad as anyone else's grief. So our resources should be the same as everyone else's resources.
Today, advocates, victims, and survivors of crime traveled to Albany to rally for this legislation. Orisa Napper-Williams, who lost her 21-year-old son Andrell Darren Napper to an act of gun violence, says she is advocating for survivors.
And signing the legislation on this bill will help parents and families to heal faster and quicker.
This bill died in committee in previous years, but some lawmakers say they are confident this will be the year it gets passed. In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
A new law in Pennsylvania requires law enforcement to report and document an overdose within 72 hours. The legislation, which was signed into law by Governor Wolf last year, was sponsored by State Senator Doug Mastriano. Known as Act 158, the law establishes the statewide opioid information network to help map overdoses and monitor drug trends in a community. Law enforcement say the mapping allows for closer monitoring of emerging drug trends, for example, a bad batch of heroin laced with fentanyl in a certain region. They say areas with higher drug trafficking trend to see more of these dangers.
We are also, seeing the clusters, I guess you would say, particularly along our interstate highway system, which shouldn't be surprising to anyone given the fact that, that's where a lot of the drugs are moving.
Now, the law went into effect this January. Although the mapping is new, lawmakers and officials say they want to build off its early successes. Well, stress is defined as any time your demands exceed your ability to cope, whether that be emotional, physical, and or social. A little stress can sometimes be motivational too, but too much stress has some long-term effects. This April is National Stress Awareness Month, and doctors across New York State, they're outlining important tips you need to know. In terms of ways to cope with stress, Dr. Caitlin Lithell says the best thing you can do is to engage in some of your favorite hobbies or activities.
If your hobby is playing tennis, go play tennis. If you like to be in a choir, go sing. Doing something where your energy is directed outward and brings in that kind of feel-good response, that's really what I recommend people do.
Now, the doctor adds another best practice is if you're dealing with chronic stress and not getting any relief, it's best to reach out and talk to somebody. Well, coming up next, we take a look at the new push underway to increase protections against salmonella nationwide. And later, with artificial intelligence use on the rise, we're hearing from an expert in the field of abuse and safety about cyber security. But first, we'll return with a full look at our weather forecast.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
3-on-3 basketball returns to Jamestown, New York this summer. Collaborative Children's Solutions and partners are hosting a Gus Macker tournament August 19th and 20th in Brooklyn Square. The streets will be packed with a festival atmosphere, bringing the youngest of our Macker mites up to the adult players who compete for the top prize in their divisions. Register online at Macker.com before July 31st. The Jamestown Macker will also include some specialty competitions, making it one of the best community events of the year.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
On this episode of Lead and Lures, pro staffer and lethal lady Caitlin Armstrong takes out her big Ohio buck. Months of hard work, dedication, and scouting have led her to this moment. You're not going to want to miss this episode of Lead and Lures on Channel 716 Roku TV. And if you want to see more of Caitlin Armstrong, follow her on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Caitlin Armstrong.
Land has been quite the experience.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. Currently in downtown Jamestown, we're under mostly cloudy skies right now. 40 degrees is the current temperature at Jamestown Airport with a north wind of 5 miles per hour. Well, we continue with Severe Weather Awareness Week this week, and today is just discussing some general safety tips when it comes to severe weather. Before severe weather happens, make sure you have a plan in place, be prepared, have a kit and have a safety kit ready, and we'll talk about that in a minute. When a warning is issued, then you want to put that plan into place. Make sure you have a way to get alerts and warnings, or again, whether that be a NOAA weather radio or you're watching on TV. And don't put yourself in harm's way during severe weather. I know everyone wants to take a fantastic photo of a tornado or something, or flash flooding when it happens, but you only do that if you can do so safely. Don't put yourself in harm's risk to do so. So here's some things you can have in the severe weather safety kit. Make sure you have some food and some bottled water, have a NOAA weather radio to get alerts, have some flashlights in case the power goes out, and some extra batteries for those flashlights. Make sure your cell phone is charged in case you need a call for help. Have a first aid kit in case someone is injured. Make sure you have some shoes or some boots in case you have to walk over debris or walk through water. Have a helmet to protect your head. That's more so in the case of a tornado and flying debris. A helmet will protect your head from that. Have an emergency whistle so you can contact someone if you don't have your cell phone and you need to contact someone, you can blow that whistle and have emergency contact info. These are just some things you should have in an emergency kit should severe weather strike. Here's what's happening across the Northeast right now. We had a weak low pressure system push a cold front through the region that brought some rain showers to the region last night. That is pushing off to our east, and we have high pressure building in, and that will keep us dry through the rest of the afternoon and heading into the day tomorrow. So let's time it out on a future scan. Partly to mostly cloudy skies now. We'll go partly to mostly sunny skies for the rest of the afternoon, and then heading into the night tonight, we should go mainly clear skies overnight tonight. That might allow some frost to develop in the inland areas, and continue with the mainly clear and mainly sunny skies through the day tomorrow. It's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow, and then we get into tomorrow night and into Friday, and another system will bring in some more rain to the region and pretty much bring rain back to the region for Friday and into the weekend and even into early next week. So here's again the forecast for tonight. Mainly clear skies. Areas of frost will develop inland away from the lakes. Low temperatures over the night tonight will range from the mid-20s inland to the low to mid-30s near the immediate Lake Erie shoreline. Here's the extended forecast powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. Like I said, tomorrow is going to be a beautiful day out there with temperatures near 60 and plenty of sunshine, but that might be the last day we see the sunshine for quite some time, as an unsettled pattern will return Friday and into the weekend and into early next week with daily chances for rain showers. But at least it won't be too chilly heading into the weekend with temperatures close to 60, but we will go back down into the 40s early next week as we continue with those rain showers.
That pesky rain there, Andrew. Good to see that sunshine on Thursday, though. Thank you very much. Well, let's get some headlines from around the nation. And prosecutors with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office are asking for a protective order in the Donald Trump criminal case. They're concerned that the former president might publicize information about their investigation. Now, in a motion filed Tuesday, they're asking the judge to order that Trump will not be allowed to copy any information about the case that could be released to the public. The prosecutors also asked the judge to limit any disclosure of any members of the prosecution team until after a jury is seated. They cite Trump's past statements about the district attorney and the judge in this situation. Well, there are 1.5 trillion reasons to keep a close eye on Capitol Hill this week as the House Speaker, Kevin McCarthy, tries to get the votes to raise the debt ceiling by $1.5 trillion and avoid a U.S. debt default. The government has never defaulted before, but as Emily Schmidt reports from Washington, the path to avoiding a first time may be getting a few more twists and turns and even a potential roadblock.
Speaker McCarthy, do you have the votes? Do you have the votes to pass this? House Speaker Kevin McCarthy walking yet avoiding talking details on whether he has the 218 votes he needs to raise the debt ceiling, with a razor-thin majority and divergent interests. Iowa House Republicans oppose a provision repealing ethanol subsidies. Florida Republican Representative Matt Gaetz wants stricter work requirements for Medicaid recipients.
I'm working to make sure that those cuts aren't aspirational.
McCarthy had vowed he would not change his plan for a one-year debt limit increase and deep spending cuts. Yet with an expected vote this week, here's how he answered when asked if he would change the bill.
I will let you know. No, I think I'd be quoting Donald Trump, but even Donald Trump said, I can't imagine anyone ever thinking of using the debt ceiling as a negotiating wedge.
The White House said in a statement, House Republicans must address the debt limit without demands and conditions. If presented with the act as it stands now, the president vows to veto it.
It might as well be called the Default on America Act, because that's exactly what it is. DOA.
Senate Republicans chose a different abbreviation.
The White House is totally MIA.
The Congressional Budget Office estimated Tuesday McCarthy's debt limit plan would save $4.8 trillion over the next decade. In Washington, I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture is considering changes to limit the amount of salmonella bacteria in some chicken products. The changes proposed Tuesday are in an effort to prevent salmonella infections. The Centers for Disease Control says about 1.3 million people in our country get sick from salmonella each year. Nearly a quarter of infections are attributed to eating poultry. The new rule would declare salmonella an alternate and a substance that ends up in a product that's being made or that is an unlisted ingredient. It would apply to breaded, stuffed, raw chicken products like pre-made foods found in a store's freezer section. Chicken cordon bleu is an example. The USDA says because of the product's appearance, it may also be difficult to determine whether they've been cooked thoroughly. Well, coming up next, AI. Popularity is surging this year. We're hearing from an expert in artificial intelligence about possible abuse of this software and what we all can do to stay safe.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams? Hunt, fish, in all corners of the earth? Well, now's your chance. Follow Primitive Patriot Outdoors as we live out our dreams and show you how to live out yours through outdoor adventures. From Western New York to Africa to all corners of the earth, follow us on this adventure. It's an experience you've never seen before. Lead and Lures, Roku TV, Channel 716.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma. ¿Cuántos años tienes?
Noah. Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
3-on-3 basketball returns to Jamestown, New York this summer. Collaborative Children's Solutions and partners are hosting a Gus Macker tournament August 19th and 20th in Brooklyn Square. The streets will be packed with a festival atmosphere, bringing the youngest of our Macker mites up to the adult players who compete for the top prize in their divisions. Register online at Macker.com before July 31st. The Jamestown Macker will also include some specialty competitions, making it one of the best community events of the year.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
We've been hearing a lot lately about artificial intelligence technology. It can help you with everyday tasks, but just how safe is it? As the AI revolution continues to grow and gain popularity, studies are showing many Americans are more concerned than excited about the new tech. WNY News Now's Marissa Thomas spoke with a local cybersecurity expert to learn more about how AI can help and harm depending on who's using it.
Artificial intelligence can create pictures, use voices, and write just like a human. In some cases, even better than. The growing technological movement works by creating things from the information it's provided, which can save time and effort for us humans.
So, as a regular user of AI, you can use it for so many things in facilitating things depending on your business. You can build on top of it. You can build a chatbot for customer support. You can build a lot of things on top of it. And AI is very helpful in a lot of research work, for cybersecurity as well. We use AI for anomaly detection. We use AI in actually email spam filtering. That's a great application of AI.
While using AI can get you started in finding information, you still want to double check the results.
Double check the information and do not rely heavily on all of this information because again, it uses outdated information. It's not always accurate. It sometimes comes up with information that isn't accurate.
And just as it can be a helpful aid, AI can also be a tool used by those with bad intentions.
However, bad actors are using it to actually make their actions further malicious. So, as I said earlier, they're building those malicious emails, those phishing attacks, more targeted with fake scenarios, and they're using the deep fakes that are totally AI generated.
Marissa Thomas, WNY News Now.
All right, Marissa, thank you very much. Such an interesting conversation. And you think about that, the spam filter on emails. That's something that I think many of us are maybe opted into already, if you have a Gmail or Yahoo or something like that. And to see it continue, and as a Snapchat user myself, I saw that this week they rolled out a new feature. So certainly something for parents. If your kids are on those platforms and you are not, definitely you're going to have to figure out what is happening, because it's so important to stay on top of it. Well, that's going to do it for our show today. Of course, the news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com and in our free mobile app, which you can download in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. We'll leave you with this live look outside of our studio here in downtown Jamestown. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.